to say goodbye.
It's hard to say I miss you.
The time of love
Is a gruesome cruise.
I need you now, dear Lord.
Having a roof over your head is a very lovely thing. Every man will be proud to have children under their roof. And when you lose that house, it becomes very painful, and maybe sometimes it strips you of your manhood. And here is a story that you would love to hear. This is the show, Painful Goodbyes. And to help us is a very special guest today. And we have Gilbert Dube to help us in the show. Welcome to the show.
Welcome, Pastor.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
People may want to know who we are talking to.
Yes. I'm Pastor Gilbert Dube. I'm 56 years old. I have 3 children, Sponkos, Bonganjalo, and Amanda. I'm happy to join you in this program.
Thank you very much. Thank you for joining us. And there are things that you have interest in. Maybe you can just take us through those things.
As a pastor, I love music.
Okay.
I also love, doing some counseling. As a marriage officer, there are quite a number of people who come to me preparing for marriage. I love talking to them. And even those who have lost their loved ones, I like talking to them because I had a challenge similar to theirs. So I love talking to them because they are ready to listen, and we discuss, knowing that I went through the same challenge. So I love talking to them so that at least they can be assisted to go through their challenges.
You spoke about music, and one thing that you do so well is writing songs. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, I like music. When I was a teacher, sometime 1990s, I used to dream singing some songs, but I don't have the idea of writing some notes. But then once I dream of a song at night, I woke up, put my own, guidelines, which assist me when singing the song. Once I dream of a song, I sing it at night. Early in the morning, I will start by singing the same song, then I don't forget it. The Lord assisted me in having some dreams. I don't sit down and start, trying to come up with a song, but I dream at night, then I write.
What a beautiful way to have songs. Then maybe let's go back to marriage counseling. Marriages are going through difficult situations.
Sure.
Maybe just take us through what you do when you meet those people.
Right. Quite a number of people come for counseling as they are preparing for marriage. And a number of them come once they have divorced. They will be seeking some ideas to what they have to do. Some will be willing to divorce, but as a pastor, I usually discourage them to divorce, assist them to solve their problem so that they continue with their marriage. But those who have lost their loved ones, I usually assist them as to how they can go about, especially if they want to remarry. It's a challenge. There are a lot of things that they have to do so that as they venture into that, they have to take care of their children. At the same time, they have to love their newly found, spouses. They have to continue, enjoying, but at the same time, they must not forget their children.
That's very important, what you have highlighted, actually speaking from the book of experience. And now there is the property that you acquired. Yes, maybe tell us how you got that property, that house.
Yes, When I was a teacher, you know, we got some wind that stands are being sold at Cowdray Park. You know, we were assisted by our sister who actually gave us the ideas of how we can go around it. We managed to buy a house which was a 3-roomed house. By God's grace, we managed to extend it to be a 7-roomed house. So we were happy by then because to have a house, it was something that we were looking forward to. At home, we had only my brother who was owning a house, and it was a 3-roomed house. But to extend it, it was something that we were looking forward to have. We were really enjoying having that house.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you very much. Please stay tuned as we listen more on this story. Welcome back to the second segment of the show, Painful Goodbyes. And the house was 3-roomed, and now it became 7-roomed. And it was a very beautiful structure. And the family was there, happy. But then they developed something that really must have disturbed you. And this is an illness that attacked Mama. Let's talk about it.
Yes. You know, when we married, 1993, everything was okay. But soon after marriage, we realized that she was having a problem in breathing. And we had to visit some doctors who later on told us that he had rheumatism, and now it has shifted to the heart. So, and they told us that she has to be operated. You know, we visited Harare. That's when the first operation was done. Fine, it was sort of a minor operation. We managed to sponsor ourselves, and even the church assisted us in trying to, you know, get the operation done. But thereafter, you know, we realized that the doctor was saying she needs to be given an operation which demanded a lot of money. You know, we tried to find where we can do that operation, and we were told that in South Africa they wanted something like 25,000 US. Then we resorted to another place where they needed 15,000. But at the end, we were assisted by my brother, Benz Svanda, who talked with someone in India who told us that it could be done for 10,000 US. So we ended up trying to go to India because it was a bit cheaper. But it was difficult to get that money. Yes, yes.
So I'm thinking about the process between it going from each doctor and getting these quotations. How were you like at that time?
Yeah, it was a difficult situation because you look at someone and the doctors are saying, if you don't do anything, she will die. So I had to weigh between the two. What should I do? And the situation, he was just deteriorating. And they told me that he may not manage to live a year longer. So I have to do something before it's too late. So I had to try to look for money so that we go to India.
Yes.
It was really difficult.
Thank you very much. You mentioned Ben Svanda, who came to your help by locating India. Who else was supporting you during this time when you were having this struggle to...
Yes, family members were in support, but the challenge is that we had no money.
Money.
I talked to my brothers, talked to my in-laws. They were willing, but they thought that we won't get that money, 10,000. It was very difficult, but they were willing. Although my father-in-law wanted us to go the other direction of Ngangas, but I said, no, we should go to the doctors. They are able to assist us, because as a pastor, I cannot go to Ngangas, I cannot go to any other source. I must go to God. Through the help of doctors, I believed that the Lord will intervene and assist my wife to be alive once more.
So it so happened maybe during the discussions and maybe the thoughts and the options, there were a number of options as to how to get the money. What were the available options to get the money? The church had its own assistance. What are other options that were available?
Yes, the other options were to sell some cows at home, but I didn't have cows. My father-in-law had a number of cows, but because he was not willing that we go that direction, doctors, he wanted to, to go traditionally, but I refused that one. The other option was to sell my car, but the money was too little. It was not going to take us anywhere. So at the end, as I was trying to find out what to do, people were saying, hey, what are you thinking of? I told them that I'm thinking of selling a house. People were saying, no. I remember one friend of mine saying, if you sell a house, you'll have a problem. You must remain with one thing. There is a house, there is my wife who is ill. The house was not ill. Obviously, the one who was ill is my wife. So I was supposed to lose my wife. Then I thought, let me do something, because I thought that these kids will ask me sometime, what happened to our mother? Because the boy was 2 years old, Wanganjalo. If they ask, what will I say to them? I could not get money, yet I had a house. That's why I thought of selling a house, because it was the only thing that I could give me 10,000 by then.
And then you presented this to your wife, and what did the wife say about that?
Yes, I presented it to my wife, but she was refusing. She was saying, maybe if I die, you will remain with nothing. That's the only asset that we were having by then. But I said, no, it's good that we do whatever we can in trying to, ask God to give you life once more. That's the only thing that we had. I convinced him that, as a man, I will work. The Lord is going to give us a house. But if I lose you, I won't get a wife like you. So I have to try by all means to win you back to me, really having that vehicle that we had when we proposed to each other. So she agreed. I tried to convince others. My in-laws were in agreement. Only my father-in-law is the one who was not taking it seriously. But then my parents and my brothers, they were all agreed. Even my in-laws, they were agreed, save for one. But at the end, we ended up agreeing that I have to sell the house in order to save her life.
Quite a touching story, and you see love in motion, where the house is here and the wife is here. Then there came that time when finally you sold the house and you signed the document.
Yes.
Maybe let's talk about that time.
Yeah, it was a difficult thing. But then I was doing it gladly, knowing that I'm trying to save my wife. Remember, we vowed when we married each other that I won't leave her. Through thick and thin, I have to try by all means till death do us part. So I remembered those words that I have to fight, I have to forge on, sell the house, because it was not even mentioned that we are going to separate because of illness or what. So I made it a point that let me do whatever I can in order to save his life. And I looked back, you know, when I proposed to this girl, you know, we used to write letters.
Okay.
So she wrote a letter to me saying that, you know, there is nothing that I love from you per se, but, you know, the way how you worship God, the way how you've assisted me in knowing Christ, I think, let me accept so that you will assist me to go to heaven. You know, the way how, you know, she agreed, actually compelled me to do whatever I could so that at the end, we be together in heaven. I said, well, we cannot be separated by sickness or whatever. Let me sell the house. Who knows? She may live.
So there is the time after the house was sold.
Yes.
And what were the children saying before you flew to India to get the operation? When I was 2.
Yes, Bonganjalo was young, but Sponkos was a bit grown up, but she agreed that we should sell the house in order to save the mother, although she was young. And my family members were in agreement, so we went ahead and sold the house.
Well, thank you very much. Maybe you can take us through the process when the house was sold and going to India.
Oh,
Yeah.
It was something else because it was my first time, you know, to fly.
Okay.
So we wanted to go to Harare. My brother was prepared to drive me to Harare, Ndaba, Dube. But, you know, the doctors told us that you may not reach Harare, the condition that she was in. So they thought that we ought to fly. So we had to go to Joshua Mkabugo, straight from there to Harare, from Harare to Zambia. From Zambia, we went to Nairobi. From Nairobi, we had to cross to North India. From North India, we went to South India. From South India, that's when we had to board a bus. It was around 5 p.m. We reached our hospital, that is the Christian hospital in Velo, at around 10 p.m. It was a long journey, but then there is nothing that we could do. We had to follow that. When we reached North India, you know, our luggage were left behind. So we had to sleep there. When we were being attended by the doctor, he was swollen all over, and the doctors were willing to assist her. But we had another challenge. They could not locate our funds. It was deposited to their account, but it was deposited in another branch, different from the hospital one. But the doctor said, Pastor, you have told me that you sold a house. Let us assist this lady. We just believe that you posted the money. She was, you know, helped before even seeing the deposit that we had actually given them. Really, they were helpful to us. Yeah.
And then there came a time when she was helped and you came back, no house, but the wife was well. Let's talk about that.
Yes, when we left India, you know, the challenge that we had was that she was supposed to have a certificate of fitness. We didn't have the certificate. We had a hard time. I remember but they were telling me that they could be fired. I told them that I don't have money to go back to South India. We are using this ticket. We don't have any money left for us. So I just told them that as a pastor, I believe that God will, the Lord will assist him to reach our country. They were skeptical to allow us to go. After some time, they just allowed us to go, but they told us that once he dies in a plane, they are all going to be fired. We are happy, we were happy when we reached Harare whilst he was still alive. We praised God because he heard our prayers, and I remember, talking to him, saying that you can die, because we were at home, we were in Harare. We were just laughing because the Lord had led us all the way from India up to Harare.
There you have it, friends, the love that moved so much to sell a house to gain life. Please stay tuned. Welcome back to the third and final segment of the show, Painful Goodbyes.
Yes.
And we are with Pastor Dube here. He has been telling us about the loss of the property that they had in order to save the life of his wife. And now I am talking about it right now, and we have lessons that we are learning from this. What could be the lessons that come from this very element?
Thank you, Pastor. It's very important to love your loved one till death do us apart. It's very important to continue loving her. You cannot be separated by illness, by hardships, by anything. You have to love the person and be prepared to lose whatever you have. We have to emulate Jesus Christ, who loved us so much and gave his life for us. Even those people who hated him, he loved them up to the cross. So we have to love one another and do whatever we can in trying to save one's life.
You spoke about people who were saying you are not going to get that property. I mean, when you sell that property, you will have made a terrible mistake. But then she lived, I don't know how many years after that.
I really thank God she lived for 12 years more. So she managed to actually bring up her kids and managed to take them to school. So when she died, they were grown up. They could see what was taking place. At least I was relieved, because I was fearing that when they asked me after some time, where is our mother? What happened? I remember this young boy asking me, we have been transferred from this district to the other. Why are others staying in one place? I told him that we don't have a house. When I took her to the very house that we sold, she was in agreement that I made a good decision to sell the house in order to save the life of the mother. Because he died when he was grown up, he could see what was taking place.
So if you were to speak to your younger self, the younger Dube, right there, what would you tell him?
It is very important to love one another, to be prepared to do whatever you can in order to save one's life. God loves us so much, and we ought to love one another and be prepared to lose whatever you lose on earth, there is something that we know. God has prepared a better place for us in heaven. So even if we lose whatever that we own here on earth, in other words, it's not even us. It belongs to God. So God gave us that house in order to save her. So I could tell him that you must be prepared to lose whatever you have, because after all, it's not your own, it belongs to God. If you lose it trying to save someone, God will give you. For your own information, the Lord gave us a plot. We are living in a plot. You know, we had a 7-roomed house, but the Lord has given us a plot. So I'm happy because the Lord knew, whilst we didn't know what was going to place, but the Lord had prepared that for us.
There are people that say, and that said unkind words when you were making that decision.
Sure.
And one of them you've actually mentioned. What did that do to you, and what lessons can we learn from that?
You know, I realized that the person who uttered that was trying to knock in my mind that you may lose both the house and your wife. He was saying this out of love because he wanted me to remain with something, but I valued my wife more than the house. That's why I had to sell it. You know, even though it was a difficult thing to do, but I realized that he was saying it out of love, but then I had to look forward to my children asking me, where is our mother? I couldn't say to them, I had no money. It was better for me to lose the house and assist her so that the Lord, who knows, he can assist my wife to be back. And for sure, he lived for 12 years more.
One last question. What would be your final words to those who are watching?
Right. To those who are having a similar challenge, they ought to be strong, look upon our God. He is ready to assist us. No one knew that we were going to have an opportunity to take my wife to India, but the Lord intervened through that house. And my advice is that whatever the Lord has given us, we should be prepared to lose it in order to save the life of our loved ones. Let's be ready. Whatever may come on our way, let's go forward, knowing that the Lord has greater things in store for us.
Thank you very much. There you have it, friends. The loss of a house gave birth to the life of a wife. And this is love incomparable. We want to thank you for tuning in. Please, for me, Skumbuzo Dube and Gilbert Dube, it's a wrap.
Thank you.